It's the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Glad to have you along. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. People's Make and Trust, where they put people first. Again, you'll find the streams on the TaylorvilleDailyNews.com Facebook or on YouTube at WTIM TV. I have Taylorville Safe Passage's co-coordinator, Denise Evans, in studio right now. Welcome back, Denise.
Hello.
So, tell me, what's been going on in your edge of the world over the last month or so since we last talked?
Well, same thing. Phone calls. I have clients coming in every day and phone calls all day, all night. I've already worked with 3 this morning. So we are keeping very busy.
Mm-hmm.
We sent, I think it was 18 we sent to rehab last month.
Okay.
And then worked with a lot of other ones. So
when you have a higher number of people that make it into rehab, is that a moment of celebration for you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And when I say 18, there was probably maybe, 25 or so that came in that I spoke with, and for different reasons, some don't get to go or didn't change their mind right now or something, but we did have 18 go last month.
So let's say there were, just for example, 25, but out of 18 of them made it. I mean, that's a 72% success rate.
Right.
What do you think of that?
Right. That's very good. Very good.
Yeah.
And, a few of them might get in my office and after we interview and everything, they might say, well, I think I'll wait a while. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. And, of course, everyone's scared when they go to rehab. I mean, I would be too. You don't know what you're going to get into. So, when they say that, usually I know that within a month or so, I'm going to hear back from them again, and they're going to call and say, okay, I'm ready now. So that's good.
What do you say to someone when they come into the office, to your office at the Taylorville Police Department, and go through kind of the thing and then say, well, I'm going to wait? I guess, what's your response to them?
I tell them, well, you can wait, but you need to worry about, yourself right now. Now is, you never know what's going to happen out there. There's so many bad things being put in the drugs right now. The fentanyl, of course, and everything is bad around here. I also tell them, you need to think about your family. What's this doing to your family? If you've got kids, what's this, you need to get back with your kids. You really need to do this, for yourself, but for the family also. And I tell them, the quicker you get into rehab and get yourself straightened out, the quicker all of this, your life's going to go back together. They'll be able to get a job again or a house, whatever, because most everyone that comes into my office has already lost pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm. Really quickly, for those who may just be tuning in, what is Taylorville Safe Passage if someone out there might not be familiar?
Safe Passage is a program that we started about 4 years ago. Actually, Judge Brad Paisley started it, and Chief Wheeler took it over in first Kincaid, and now we're in Taylorville. It's a program where an addict or alcoholic can just walk into the police department or call first if they wish to, and they come into our office, we talk about their issues a little bit, about what's going on in their life, and then I find them a facility to go to. And the minimum stay at the facility is like 30 days, and they'll have a counselor there and just learn how to restart their life again.
I want to know how many, or I guess you could give me like a rough percentage estimate of people that you help through Safe Passage come in voluntarily and go through it that way, as opposed to some other circumstances that might kind of force them into a Safe Passage type thing. How much is voluntary? Like 50%?
I would say more than 50, a lot more than 50. Yeah. The other way that you get into Safe Passage, as he said, is if you are maybe incarcerated in the county jail or another jail somewhere, and the judge, the probation officer, someone may call me and say, I have this client, that's incarcerated. Can you please go to the jail and speak with them? So we do, and it's the same procedure. Mm-hmm. Just interview them, find them a place, that will accept them. And then we do have one extra step to where the judge has to give them a furlough to get out. And when they do go to rehab, that's not a free ride out of jail, because they have to, when they have completed the program, they have to go back to jail.
Right. And there's a lot of court proceedings and stuff
right.
like that. Special
Then they go to
court proceedings
right.
too.
Special.
So easily more than half are voluntary though.
Exactly.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's good to know.
Taylorville's a small town, so the word gets out that we're helping people. They're coming into the police department. They're not getting in trouble. They're not seeing any officers. And so that kind of gives the other ones confidence to, oh, well, maybe I can go there and get help too,
Well, it's telling that 4 years ago, the community had to create this program and Safe Passage. So I kind of wanted to talk about why do you feel, or what creates an addiction? And let's start there. What do you feel in just in an individual creates addiction?
There's a lot of factors in that creates addiction. It could be genetics. It could be something that you grew up with. Maybe your parents were alcoholics or addicts, and that's all you knew. It may be stress from your job, stress from relationship. It could be a lot of different factors. No one, when you're in school and someone asks you, what do you want to be when you grow up? I don't think there's one person that says, I want to be a drug addict or I want to be an alcoholic. So it's something that happens throughout your life. You're, like I said, stress. You may be young and be at a party and someone offers you something. Well, depending on what that is, certain drugs, if you use it twice, you're addicted to it. I mean, you can't help it. Then it becomes a disease. And that's where a lot of people think, well, they don't have to do that. They don't have to drink. All they'd have to do is quit. They've got everything going for them. They've got a good job. So why do they have to use? It is a disease. It takes over your brain and you have no control.
I have, you mentioned stress. And I think one of the things that maybe some people think about is, well, we all have stress, right? Like me and you have stress,
right.
And you and me were not addicts as far as I know, but we're just going to say we're not addicts.
Right.
I guess what's the difference? How does that stress?
Everyone's different. Everyone is different in every way. Your brain's made different. So, some people, I guess, can't handle it as well as others. It's just what we're made of.
Addictive tendencies, as you mentioned, genetics play a factor.
And even now probably, but back in the day, people used to say, well, addicts or alcoholics were homeless people. Every time you saw a homeless person, you'd think, oh, they're an addict or they're an alcoholic. That's why they're homeless. No. Or, maybe low income people might be. That's definitely not true. It comes in every type. A lot of doctors, lawyers, policemen have the addiction problem
because they have the access to that
stuff. The stress.
That too, right?
Stress.
Yeah, the stress. And I would think in a doctor's perspective, I mean, if they're seeking that stuff out, it's boom, it's right there.
It's right there, and they're under stress. I know of a couple of agencies around Illinois that have closed part of their section for their clients and has turned it into professional men or professional women, to where they can still use their laptop, still do their work, but they're, in treatment.
Yeah.
And one that I know of that is nearby opened up a whole wing for professional men. And within a week, it was full.
Yeah. And just goes to show that addiction
hits everyone.
Exactly. I want to talk more about that with Denise Evans, co-coordinator of Safe Passage, next right here on the WTIM Morning Show, here on WTIM, your information station.
WTIM. check the markets on the RFD Radio Network. I'm DeLawes Yonke. Quiet start for corn. March is unchanged, 685. May is up a quarter, 682.5. July is down a quarter, 669. March soybeans are down 4.5, 1538 and a quarter. May down 6, 1530. July down 6 and a quarter, 1519 and a quarter. Soybean meal for March down 260, 501.40. Soy oil down 31, 59.83. Chicago March wheat down 2, 790. Kansas City down 1 1/4 at 911. Minneapolis down 3/4 of a cent at 930. Oats for March down 7.5, 365 and 3/4. Crude oil down 213 at $78 and a penny. This is the RFD Radio Network.
We started with a warehouse full of comfort systems.
But they're going fast.
Troy, I haven't seen a warehouse empty out this fast since the incident at the last company chili cook-off.
Anyway, our inventory is getting lighter by the hour.
And so is your opportunity to save a lot of money on a brand new factory fresh comfort system.
And because we bought in bulk, you won't be paying full price.
While they last, get a new energy-efficient furnace installed for just $2,009 when you purchase an AC at the regular price.
That's a savings of $1,867.
And if you don't save at least 20% on your cooling and heating bills, Jansen's may pay you double the difference for 2 whole years.
See all the details at jansensheating.com.
We will sell out.
And when all the systems are sold, this sale will fold.
Call 562-5201.
Get your fair share of the savings at Jansen's Heating and Air.
Hey, I'm kind of hungry. We got any leftover chili?
Oh, please, don't.
Thank you for listening to this Miller Media Group radio station. We appreciate you making the choice to tune in to us. We want to remind you of some things to keep the attorneys happy. Our stations allow 1 winner per household in a 30-day period. Cash prizes are mailed to our winners within 30 days of winning. And as you've probably already guessed, portions of today's programming on this Miller Media Group radio station were pre-recorded and are mechanically or digitally reproduced. There. Now we've made the attorneys happy. Thanks again for listening to this Miller Media Group station.
Computer Techniques, also known as CTI, is bringing fiber internet to local homes and businesses. For lag-free internet with speeds up to 1 gig, find out more by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Westervelt Mutual Insurance Company is a partner that understands the sacrifice you put into your farm. Find out how they can insure your farm and find a local agent by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
It's the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville. You always do better with Landmark and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. Taylorville Safe Passage is a program that will help people rehabilitate their addictions through just walking in. Seriously, it's that easy. Walking into the Taylorville Police Department and speaking with co-coordinator of Safe Passage, Denise Evans, who's here to talk all about it. One of the things that you are really focused on right now, Denise, you're focused on outreach and education, and also you're looking for volunteers too. What will volunteers do if they volunteer for Safe Passage?
Volunteers will transport the client to the facility, or if they need a ride back home, we'll give them a ride home when they're finished. But this month, I'm happy to say we got 3 new drivers to transport. So that was good because Debbie that works with me was driving quite a bit. So, this is going to help out. And we can always use more. Right now we have 7.
Okay, so that sounds like it's suitable, but you could always need some...
because you never know. Sometimes we go make 2 or sometimes 3 trips, different places in one day.
Sometimes people take vacations.
And some of our drivers are retired and they like to go to Florida or Texas for the winter. So that's why, winter time is a little bit hard. I need more. But it is really, they're really stepping up out there to help. As far as outreach, we go to schools, we go to different meetings, organizations. We're going to Kincaid School, junior high and high school on Friday morning. So we'll be speaking with the students then. And when we go to the schools, we usually talk about bullying and addiction. It kind of goes hand in hand with the kids. So
I see, and especially in adolescence. Right.
Mhm.
Okay. And do you, I know sometimes this is hard to correlate when they become adults, but do you often see a correlation between adults who were bullied as children and their addiction? Is that something you've observed or not?
With adults being
Right.
bullied.
Well, like as children, right? They were
They were right.
right.
That's
how,
like
how prevalent is that correlation?
Well, that's like I was speaking before. If a child grows up in a home that has alcohol or substance abuse, also the bullying, the bullying will cause stress. And so then the person, becomes thinking that they're maybe nothing, they don't have any, I don't know how to say it, but that they're just kind of low and, they're not worth their worth value is low. And so then they start getting depressed and start using. So there's just so many different factors, and like I said, then once they start using that's it. They can't stop.
Right. So what you are kind of observing is adolescents being bullied, or even younger being bullied, and then they start using at whatever age, and then that continues into their adulthood.
It continues.
I see. Okay, that's a good way to summarize that. In terms of advocacy, is there anything else that you'd like folks to know about when it comes to safe passage and addiction?
If you know anyone in your family, your friends, or workplace that is having a problem, don't be afraid to confront them with it and give them our name and phone number. You might want to come with them the first time. They are not going to meet with any police officers. They're not going to be in trouble. Whatever they tell me in the office is confidential. And I don't run up to the officers and say, hey, did you know this person's out using, or this is, this and that. So it is confidential, and, we're just there to help you.
Do you provide intervention services at all?
After.
Okay.
Well, yeah, pretty much after they've completed the program, we have nightly meetings here in Taylorville at the First Presbyterian Church, and that is for AA and NA.
I suppose more my question aligned with, and I think that's very important, by the way, and I want to ask you when and where that is, but do you provide services to help families as an intervention, lack of a better term, convince someone with an addiction to go into Taylorville Safe Passage and Rehab? Do you provide any sort of intervention type services? I know that's just the strategy.
Yeah.
One strategy to tackle.
If they have problems with that, they can always come in and speak with us. We do have, sometimes I refer them to maybe a client that has been clean for like over a year. They can talk to people.
Kind of like they have it in
mentor.
AA. Yeah, right.
And we do have a couple of counselors here that I do refer them to that can help them with that also.
Right. The counselors that would be a little bit more well-versed in interventionist type scenarios.
Right.
So, okay. So you have the resources available. You yourself do not do interventions, though.
No.
Okay.
No.
That's a good distinction. Anything, we got about 30 seconds here. Anything else that you'd like to include
Okay, I'd like
here,
to
Denise?
give you the telephone number is 217-824-2211 is the Taylorville Police Department. You can call that and get a hold of me anytime.
All right. That's Taylorville Safe Passage Co-Coordinator Denise Evans. Thank you so much for your time, Denise.
Thank you.
Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark, and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. You'll find those streams on the TaylorvilleDailyNews.com Facebook or on YouTube at WTIM TV.